Hello everybody! Welcome to another devlog for forest folk, a game about befriending little men in the forest and coexisting with nature. This month I made some improvements to the folks' behavior, reworked the ponds, and added some creatures. First, I just want to mention, because it's already visible, I've added hair to the character customizer. It can be colored with the same palette as the skin colors and finds the highest pixel on the chosen head sprite to position itself correctly. Anyway, in my previous playtests, I was always running into issues with the folks' pathing, especially since adding the more densely forested map gen. They were constantly getting stuck in trees, trapped in little spaces away from their homes, or falling behind in the group. So I've given them some proper pathfinding code. They now can find their way around solid objects, and also have a failsafe for when they get stuck, which allows them to move through collisions for a short time. I've also redone the crowding mechanics. The folk can no longer bounce off each other, and instead simply push off of each other very slightly, so if they ever overlap, it will be corrected. This, along with the pathfinding, means they are now stress-free followers. You can run ahead and trust that they will always reach you eventually. On top of this, I've also given the folk an item sorting behavior. If there are two folk in a group holding the same item, the one with the smaller stack will give their items to the other. In the end, this means you have more free hands to do tasks for you, and the tedium that existed with managing their inventories is now gone. To the world gen, I've added cliffs, which are obstacles in the world that you'll have to either slowly climb or find a way around. If you aren't careful, you can fall down and be stunned on the ground for a moment. I think they help to add some depth to the world, and they create interest in the way that you navigate. I've also implemented an experimental stamina feature. After running for a while, you'll tire out, and your character will sweat a little until you're able to run again. Climbing also depletes the stamina, and you'll fall if you can't make the climb. Eventually, I'll be able to use this feature as an obstacle that you can't pass until later in the game. I've added butterflies and caterpillars to the game. Caterpillars spawn from bushes and piles of leaves on the ground, and over a little time they turn into a chrysalis, and later a butterfly. And they leave behind the spent chrysalis to be collected. All of these stages share a random color, and sometimes butterflies will have a secondary color too. Previously, the ponds in the game were simple, solid objects that you could interact with to collect water. Now they are much more complex and dynamic. I wanted them to have unique shapes, and little streams randomly running off the ends, so I needed to find a way to tile a water texture smoothly across several objects. Now, when a pond is generated, it creates a chain of segment objects, and a similar chain of stream segments. Then a script is run to create a bunch of small edge objects around the borders of the whole thing. All of these objects are invisible, but a control object creates a few surfaces to correctly draw everything. First two surfaces are made for the pond and stream segments. They generate blank white circles over their respective segments, creating a sort of inverted mask, which I then use a specific blend mode to lay the tiling wavy sprites over. Similar process is used to generate waterfalls when streams intersect cliffs. Ponds functionally work the same as before, except that you can step into them and swim, and your folk will follow suit. The final addition here is the toad, who tends to hang out near ponds and eats nearby bugs. They'll be useful to keep in your gardens to protect from pests like snails. Anyway, join the Forest Folk Discord and follow my Twitter. Links are in the description. Follow for more videos in the near future, and thank you all for watching.